Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about the mind games narcissistic people play to twist the story and play the victim. As being around a narcissistic person can be extremely confusing, very tiring and draining, as more often than not a narcissist will play the victim while you're left wondering what you've done wrong, what you can do to help them, what you can do to improve yourself, what you can do better to help them. You're left thinking that you're the one causing all the problems within the relationship, walking on eggshells around the narcissist to please the narcissist, while the narcissist forever twists the story and plays the victim. Number one is the narcissist projection. A narcissist will project any unhealed parts of themselves onto others. Any mistakes they make, they will pass over to somebody else. Any failings, they will find a scapegoat to blame for what the narcissist has done wrong, as they simply do not want to take responsibility for their own behaviour. They don't like the shame that they feel when they do things to others, and to remove that shame, they simply pass the blame. They need to seek approval from others and attention from others. They need to fill their self-esteem by gaining praise from those around them. They seek excessive attention. Narcissistic people usually tend to be pathologically envious of those around them, so they try to sabotage those around them. They will fabricate, they will distort, they will lie, they will triangulate, they will blame shift any of their wrongdoings over to somebody else. This creates an alternative reality in the narcissist's own mind. When you question them about something and they say that you're jealous, it's either to deflect the truth or because they are jealous. When you suspect they are cheating and ask them about it, they will accuse you of cheating or being insecure or having trust issues to deflect the truth, often when they are actually cheating. If they say someone is insecure, the narcissist is usually insecure. If they say someone was cruel to them, the narcissist was usually cruel to that person. If they say all their exes are crazy, look at the common denominator. Narcissists want to pass all their faults, failings, insecurities, mistakes, any shame they feel onto somebody else. How to disarm? Do not give a narcissist your sympathy or empathy. Do not give them your compassion. You cannot control what others say and do. You cannot help them. You can give yourself your own reality check and give yourself your compassion first. Gaslighting. Narcissists use this as a way to psychologically manipulate others into losing their own reality. Narcissists rewrite history to avoid taking responsibility for the things they do. The narcissist gaslighting is another way to escape the actual reality of what they've done by making others believe the narcissist's false reality. Thus them believing their own false reality themselves. Some narcissistic people can tell themselves the story so well that they actually start to believe their version of events. How to disarm? If you're still with them, if they're a family member, write down what's been said and done. And if in doubt, look at what you've written. If you have children that they still see, keep everything via messages or email so that you have it in writing for reality checks. Lies. Narcissistic people are compulsive liars. It's a defense mechanism. Even if you have facts and evidence to prove something they have done, they will go all out to prove you wrong. They will lie through their teeth to get out of it. They will push and prod and poke you to get a reaction from you so that they can blame you for your reactions to distract you from their actions. Narcissists always find a way to try and blame others as to why it was someone else's fault that the narcissist did what they did, or they will deny doing what they did. They will find a scapegoat to take the blame, or they will claim it was nothing to do with them. How to disarm? Look at the facts, look at the evidence. You have them there in front of you. Remember, the narcissist is a pathological liar, and do not confront them. Some will rage out at you. When they're barefaced lying with evidence in front of them, remember that they do not want to accept responsibility. They do not want to be held accountable. They are not going to give you any answers. They are going to go all out to confuse you, to distract you, to get a reaction from you so that they can blame you. Delusion and denial. A narcissistic person can feel shame for the things that they do. However, they don't like this feeling of shame, so they project, they gaslight that shame onto others by blame shifting to escape taking responsibility for their behaviour, to avoid any sort of accountability, to prevent them feeling any form of emotions such as guilt and remorse, these emotions that stop us repeating mistakes in the future. Narcissistic people might feel the shame, but because they pass the blame, they don't feel things such as guilt and remorse long enough to change their behaviour. As a coping mechanism, narcissists tend to delude themselves and those around them to avoid any painful emotions that their own reality. They change the script, they rewrite history within their own mind so that their own reality is their only reality, and to them it's real, even though it isn't. Not all narcissistic people will do this, but many rewrite history within their own mind till it becomes real within their own mind, which is why they are such convincing pathological liars when they are projecting and gaslighting onto those around them. Narcissistic people often see their reality as that way, and even at times when it isn't, they tell themselves and others the narcissist truth that much that their subconscious believes it to be real. They have to create a story within their own heads, perceived in the only way they want to perceive it. They will always be right, and they will always make out that someone else is to blame, somebody else is to fault, that it's never their fault. The more this goes around their head, the more they believe it to be accurate, why the stories they tell others are so convincing, even when the stories don't quite add up. How to disarm? Write down what they told you and write down your reality until you learn to recognise their behaviour and their words for what it is. How they tell the stories to others. Even genuine people have their limits and can react badly. Reactive abuse. This occurs when the victim of the narcissist finally snaps. They might scream or shout out in anger, throw insults or lash out at the abusers. Abusers love reactive abuse, and they are known to try and push people past their limits to gain this reaction. Once they have the reaction, they will twist the story so that the real victim becomes the abuser and the narcissist can play the victim and gain the sympathetic attention. Narcissistic people will use your reactions against you forevermore, and some will even film it and go to the police with it against you. If you've reacted at any point during a domestic violent relationship where they were coercively controlling you, twisting everything onto you, then you feel like you're to blame while they escape responsibility. This does not make you a narcissist. This is further manipulation from the narcissist. The key word is react. You reacted to someone who knows all your weaknesses. They know all your vulnerabilities. They know what matters to you the most, that they can use it against you because these are the things you will most passionately defend. They know how to turn everything on to you, blame you, shame you. Own responsibility for how you reacted, see the whole story and let it go. It's in the past. If somebody brings out the worst in you, that isn't the kind of person you want to be around. How to disarm in future any communication, retreat, rethink and only respond if you genuinely need to do so, such as court papers. And when you respond, when it's things to do with court papers, think of it like the judge is reading your response. Smear campaigns and annihilation of your character, your reputation. When a narcissist can no longer control you, they want to control how others see you. Therefore, they go about talking about you. They try to bring you down. They try to ruin your reputation. They try to ruin your character. Narcissistic people hold grudges against those that they don't get their own way with. They're always looking to blame somebody else. It'll always be their parents' fault that they never succeeded in life. Their siblings will have stolen from them. Their exes will have lied to them. They hold grudges against many people that go against them. When a narcissist is smearing your name, leave them to it. Their stories fall apart when you don't look like the crazy one, when you stop playing their games, when you start creating a better life without them. When you look happier without them, it shows everything about who you are by your actions. And the narcissist's words slowly lose their credibility. Your word versus the narcissist's word very often doesn't work. Your actions versus the narcissist's actions do. When you react, when you respond, when you try to defend yourself to a narcissist, you're usually matching the picture the narcissist is painting about you. When you step away from their games and start living your best life, you're no longer matching the words that the narcissist is trying to tell about you. When it comes to narcissistic people, they play endless games to shift the blame so that they're not held responsible for their behaviour, for their wrongdoings, for their mistakes. Therefore, they never learn from these mistakes. They never learn from their behaviour. They just cycle on a pattern of repeat. With many narcissists, it is intentionally done. With others, it's instinctively done. Many lack the empathy to care for how their behaviour affects those around them. Many tell the stories that, well, they end up believing their own lies. Others know exactly what they are doing to you and those around them. When it comes to narcissistic people, we have to observe their behaviour and not absorb it as our own. When we genuinely pay attention to the words that fall from their mouths, we know all the times when we couldn't work out what was happening that they were talking absolute rubbish to us. From those backhanded compliments when they say, your hair looks better like that than it did before. I didn't think you'd get that promotion. Congratulations. You look pretty when you have makeup on. I didn't think you were capable of that. Narcissistic people are always looking to pull others down to feel better about themselves, and they're always looking to shift the blame so that they don't have to take responsibility. Common blame-shifting phrases are, if you hadn't, I wouldn't. I'm not controlling you, you're trying to control me. If you would have done what I asked, it wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm like in the morning, you should have left me alone. If you'd have paid me more attention, I wouldn't have gone elsewhere. Common gaslighting phrases are, you're insecure, you're too sensitive, you have trust issues. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd act like this. It's not my fault that you're too sensitive. I think you're going crazy and you need help. I never said that. I told you that last week. You must be losing your mind. A narcissist does not want to accept any faults within themselves, any mistakes that they make. They believe they are superior and above and better than all others. They are unwilling or unable to see faults within themselves, so they will make their own reality and do their best to make sure those around them believe the narcissist's reality. And many convince themselves that their reality is fact. A narcissist needs admiration from others to keep their own insecurities and faults deeply hidden within them. People who've been close with a narcissist get hurt emotionally, psychologically, socially, financially, and sometimes physically. Narcissistic people simply lack the empathy to care, and they will turn whatever they did to you or to others onto you or onto that other person so that they can escape all accountability, so that there's no consequences for their actions. And when there's no consequences for their actions, they don't learn from their actions. You can communicate on a world level with empathy, compassion, understanding of others' perceptions, caring, thoughtfulness, and forgiving. Narcissists understand that they are the only person that matters. When you look for the middle ground, compromise, a narcissist is looking for an argument. They're looking to win at all costs to you and then blame you for the argument. They will turn around to you and say, I don't want to argue with you, when they don't want to discuss things that might discredit who they are as a person. Narcissists communicate on a level which is only ever to serve and suit themselves. The disorder is on a spectrum, so there are some that you might be able to learn how to handle yourself around and disarm limited contact and grey rock. With others, it simply needs to be no contact with them because they will just go all out to bring you down. If anyone has any thoughts on the video, please add those into the comments. I shall add in the description the video on the narcissist projection, gaslighting, blame shifting and smear campaigns to give you more information on those. Thank you very much for listening. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.